It was the first light of dawn, December 1st, 1948. When two jockeys on an early morning ride passed Somerton Beach, a quiet stretch just outside Adelaide, Australia. At first, the figure leaning against the seawall looked like someone simply resting, a man in a pressed suit, legs stretched out, feet crossed neatly at the ankles. His head tilted back as though he drifted off while watching the waves. But something about the stillness was wrong. When they drew closer, they saw that his eyes were closed, his skin pale, and no rise or fall of his chest gave any sign of life. He was dead. By sunrise, the beach was swarming with police and curious onlookers. No one recognized him. No one came forward to claim him. And when they began searching his body, the mystery only deepened. Every label had been carefully cut from his clothing. No wallet. No identification. Just a few strange, almost theatrical clues, a pack of cigarettes, but the brand inside didn't match the label on the pack, a train ticket and bus ticket to and from nearby stations, a comb, and a half-used packet of gum. His clothes were clean, neat, and pressed. His shoes were polished. Nothing about him looked accidental, nothing random. Whoever he was, he'd been erased. The autopsy revealed even more unsettling details. His organs told a story of violent suffering, his spleen swollen, his liver congested, his blood tinged with something strange. The doctors suspected poison, some kind of rare, fast-acting toxin, but they couldn't detect it. And that wasn't the only thing unusual. His hands were smooth, almost delicate. His calves were toned, his toes oddly twisted, like someone used to wearing tight shoes or boots for dancing. He was healthy, well-groomed, and dead without explanation. 2 weeks later, another discovery deepened the mystery. A brown suitcase had been sitting, unclaimed, at the Adelaide train station since the day before the man was found. Inside, police found clothes with all the tags removed, just like the ones on his body. There were pajamas, a screwdriver, scissors sharpened to a fine point, a small brush used for stenciling ship cargo. Every item seemed ordinary, but together, they formed a picture of someone prepared, careful, precise. And in the lining of one pair of trousers, police found a spool of rare orange thread, the same thread used to repair the pocket of the pants on his body. Then came the clue that turned the case into legend. Hidden in a tiny watch pocket of his trousers was a scrap of paper, tightly rolled, with 2 words printed in neat, sharp type, Tamam Shud. Translated from Persian, it meant, "It is finished." The words came from a book of poetry popular during the war, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. Weeks later, a man came forward with a copy of that very book, found in the back seat of his car parked near the beach. A piece had been torn out, and it matched the scrap in the man's pocket perfectly. Inside the book, police found more clues, a strange handwritten code, 5 lines of jumbled letters, and a phone number. When they traced the number, it led them to a young nurse who lived nearby. When she was shown a plaster bust of the dead man's face, witnesses say she turned pale, as though she'd seen a ghost. She denied knowing him, insisted she had nothing to do with the case, but her reaction only fueled more suspicion. The cipher in the book was sent to codebreakers around the world, even to the FBI and Scotland Yard. No one could solve it. Some said it looked like the fragments of a code used for secret communications. Others believed it was a personal cipher, a message meant for only one person to read. The weeks turned into months, and still, no one came forward to claim the body. The police buried him in a local cemetery, a simple grave with a marker that read only, "Here lies the unknown man found at Somerton Beach, December 1st, 1948. Soon, flowers began to appear at his grave. No one ever saw who left them. For decades, theories swirled. Some believed he was a spy, a Cold War agent whose mission had gone wrong. Adelaide was close to sensitive military testing sites, and the dead man had carried tools and clothing consistent with someone who worked on ships or in industrial jobs that could double as cover. Others whispered about a secret love affair, that the nurse, who had once given a copy of the Rubaiyat to a man she knew, was hiding a tragic connection. And some believed the man had come to Somerton Beach to end his life, leaving only a poet's farewell in his pocket. Years passed, then decades. The bust of the man's face sat in police archives. Files gathered dust. Amateur sleuths, journalists, and conspiracy theorists took up the case, each new theory more elaborate than the last. The mystery of the Somerton Man became legend. Then, in 2022, after 74 years, forensic scientists finally cracked part of the puzzle. Using hair preserved from the plaster bust, they extracted DNA and built a genetic profile. Through painstaking genealogy, they identified him as Carl Charles Webb, an electrical engineer from Melbourne, born in 1905. The world finally had a name. But even with that revelation, the most haunting questions remained unanswered. Why was he in Adelaide? Who was he meeting? Did he choose to disappear, or was he silenced? The words in his pocket, Tamam Shud, still carry their quiet finality. It is finished. But the story isn't. Not really. Somewhere, in the folds of history, the truth lingers, about the man on the beach, the code no one could crack, and the mystery that still chills anyone who dares to follow the clues into the shadows of Somerton Beach.